Hello and welcome to yet another tutorial by Davies Media Design. My name is Michael Davies, and in today's tutorial I'll be showing you 10 essential shortcut keys found in GIMP. So these are shortcut keys I use in my tutorials and in my work all the time. So if you've watched a lot of my tutorials, you've probably seen many of these, or at least a few of these. But these are shortcuts that are going to help speed up your workflow. They're going to help make certain tasks a lot easier, and it's really just going to simplify things for you in GIMP and allow you to work a lot faster. But of course, before I get into that, I want to direct you guys over to my website at daviesmediadesign.com. As always, we have tons of GIMP video and text tutorials on here, so definitely check that out. You can also enroll in our best-selling GIMP 2.10 photo editing from beginner to pro photo retoucher course on Udemy. And you can support our channel and help us grow by becoming a patron on Patreon, and I'll include a link to this as well as all the relevant links from this tutorial in the description of the video. So let's dive into our first shortcut key, and our first few shortcuts are going to be pretty basic ones. So if you guys are heavy users of GIMP, if you're pretty experienced in GIMP, you're going to already know these, but as we get deeper into this tutorial, I'm going to really show you guys some cool shortcuts that you didn't know about. But anyway, our first shortcut key, if I come over here into GIMP, is going to be holding Control and using my mouse wheel to zoom in and out. So it doesn't matter what tool you have selected on here. If you hold Control and use the mouse wheel, you can quickly zoom in and out of places on your image. And this just makes it a lot easier to really focus in or hone in on a part of your image. I use this all the time. And keep in mind that when you are zooming in and out, GIMP is using wherever your mouse is pointed to zoom in on that point. So basically, if I'm hovered over the eye here, and then I hold Control and zoom in, you'll see it'll zoom in right on the eye there. And then if I back out, it'll just back it all the way out. And conversely, if I come over here and I zoom in on this sign right here, it'll zoom in on that. And sort of in that same vein, if I hold the space bar, then I can just move around my image like that. So if I hold Control, zoom in with the mouse wheel, and then hold spacebar, it allows me to just kind of move around my image. So this is just grabbing the image wherever my mouse is, and then when I move my mouse, it's just going to move the image until my mouse hits the end of the image window there. So that's just another cool way, an easy way to be able to move around your image. So our next set of essential shortcut keys found in GIMP are the Control X and Control Y shortcut key functions. And a lot of you guys already know what these do, but if I come back over here into GIMP, let's say I grab my paintbrush and I just paint something on here, Control Z will undo that. So Control Z is going to undo any action you perform in GIMP. And you can always see what you've done while you've been working on your composition here in the Undo History tab. And if you don't see that over here, you can go to Windows, Dockable Dialogues, and come here to Undo History. That should open up your Undo History tab here in your Dockable Dialogue section, and you can move this around. That's what makes it a dockable dialog. But that just tells you all of the things that you've done within your composition. So we just applied that paintbrush. We can always click on that again in the undo history to go back to that point. But Control Z is going to allow us to undo that action, and you'll see that we revert back a step here in our undo history, whereas Control Y is going to redo the action, so it's going to step forward in our undo history. So that's just a useful way to be able to undo or redo actions in GIMP. Our next few sets of shortcut keys have to do with the selection tool. So our first one is going to be Control A and Control Shift A. Control A, I'll go ahead and hit that on my keyboard here, is going to select everything on your composition in GIMP. And let me just hit M to go to my Move tool. So you'll see here these lines moving around our image are called marching ants, and anytime you have marching ants on your image or in a selection area, that just means that you are selecting that area. So Control A is going to select everything within our composition, whereas Control Shift A is going to select none. And you'll see over here in my undo history that select none has been recorded here, and before that we had select all. So Control A is select all, and then Control Shift A is select none. So sticking with selection areas, if I come over here to a selection tool like the rectangle select tool and I draw this normally, this is just going to allow me to draw a rectangle shape, and it'll either be, an elongated rectangle or more of a square, depending on really just how I click and drag my mouse around. But there are some cool shortcut keys built into the selection tool. So if I release my selection area here and I hold my Shift key, you'll see over here under the rectangle select tool options, under mode here, that has shifted my mode from replace the current selection, which is our first mode option here, to add to the current selection. So basically if I hold Shift and I draw with my rectangle select tool, it's going to add this rectangle selection to our existing rectangle selection, so it's going to combine those two selection areas together. On the other hand, if I hold the control key, you'll see it'll actually change my mode to the next mode option here, which is to subtract from the current selection. So if I'm holding control and I draw with the rectangle select tool, it is actually going to subtract that rectangle from my existing rectangle selection area. And then finally, if I hold control and the shift key, you'll see over here it'll change my mode to the fourth option, which is to intersect the selection areas. So now whatever area I draw with this rectangle select tool, it's only going to keep the area that intersects with our existing rectangle select on the composition. So when I release, you'll see it only keeps this area right here because this is the area that intersected with both of those shapes. And this of course applies to the ellipse select tool as well, and you can combine that with our rectangle select tool. So you can either draw a brand new selection altogether, or you can hold any of the shortcuts here. So let's go with shift and add that selection to our rectangle select area. So this shortcut key is going to apply to any of these selection tools that have the mode option here. So you'll see that all of these selection tools here have this mode option. So I'll hold Control-Shift-A to use that Select None shortcut key there. The next shortcut is one that I've talked about in numerous tutorials, and that is using the / key on your keyboard, which is going to bring up the new search feature found in GIMP. This feature was added in GIMP 2.10 and allows you to easily find things like filters or other files that you have open within GIMP. And then when you double click on those search items, it's going to open up that item into GIMP. So it's either going to open up the filter options if you're searching for a filter, or it'll just open up the location of the composition that you're trying to find. So let's come over here into GIMP, and I'll hit the / key on my keyboard. So for example, if I want to use the hue saturation image adjustment on here, all I have to do is type in hue saturation, or even when I start typing that in, it'll show up results that have to do with what I'm typing or what I'm searching. And so I'll just double click on this first search result there, and that'll bring up my hue saturation image adjustment box here. And now I can perform my image adjustments on here. So I'll turn up my saturation, maybe turn up the lightness a little bit here as well, and then click OK. And now we've applied some hue saturation to that. So another example is that I know that I have an image in GIMP called winter. Right now it's easy to find because I only have 2 tabs open in GIMP, but let's say hypothetically I had like 20 tabs open and I couldn't find which tab it was on. I can hit my search feature here, type in winter, and you'll see that the winter photo will show up here as a photo that I have open in GIMP. So when I double click on that, it'll now take me over to that winter photo. But I'll just come back over here to our original image. So the next shortcut keys have to do with the paint or the eraser tools. So when I use a tool such as the paintbrush tool here, and I'm trying to draw, freehand this, you'll see it's pretty hard to create a straight line. Let me just do a serious example of this. So if I try to draw a straight line there, you'll see it's pretty hard to do. But if I hit Control-Z and I click on here with my paintbrush tool and I hold the Shift key, that's going to enter this into what's called straight line mode. So it's going to show you where it's drawing this line on your image. So if I come over here and click once, you'll see it's going to draw a straight line there. But I'll hold Control-Z. Another cool thing about this, if I hold Shift and then hold the Control key, it's going to allow me to draw in a straight line. So this is a perfect straight line at 0 degrees. And then if I move my mouse up, it's going to skip over to 15-degree increments. So it's going to go 15 degrees up. And I can just do that throughout my image. So let's say I know I want to draw this at a 45-degree angle. I can go 15, 30, 45, and that'll draw that at a 45-degree angle. And then our point is up here, our last point that we left off at. So if I hold Shift, I can draw directly from that point and draw another straight line, or hold Control to draw in 15-degree increments again. So that's just a handy shortcut that allows you to easily draw straight lines with your paint tools. Let me hit Control-Z and get rid of all this. And if I come over to my eraser tool, it's going to allow me to do the same thing. So let me actually come over to my layers and right click on this layer here and go to Add Alpha Channel. That's going to add transparency to my image. And when I erase here, you'll see that it's going to create transparency, which is what these checker boxes are behind here. I'll hit Control-Z. If I click on here and then I hold the Shift key, it's going to allow me to erase in straight lines. And then again, if I hold that Control key, it'll allow me to do that in 15-degree increments. So let me hit Control-Z to back up. This also applies to some of the transformation tools. So if I come over to my rotate tool, for example, and I want to rotate my image, but I want to do it in 15-degree increments. In this case, I don't have to hold Control and Shift, I just have to hold Shift, and you'll see that that allows me to rotate this in 15-degree increments. And you can see over here in the rotate box over here, it has an angle slider that allows you to adjust the angle, or you have a field here where you can manually type in the angle. So I'll just put this back to 0 and hit the Enter key. But if I hold Shift while I'm doing this, you'll see that that angle field right here will tell me that it's doing it in 15-degree increments. So there we've rotated it at 90 degrees. I'll click rotate, and now our image is rotated at 90 degrees. So those are the straight line mode and the 15-degree increment shortcut keys. And let me go back to my paintbrush tool. Another cool shortcut here that I'll just loop into this same shortcut is if I hold Control, and make sure you are clicked on your composition before trying this. So if I hold Control, you'll see it'll bring up a little eyedropper tool. And this actually allows me to select a foreground color that I'm going to use with that paint tool. So you'll see that as I click and drag my mouse, my foreground color is going to change based on the area of the image that I'm hovered over. So this is just a cool way to easily select colors on your image, and then you could turn around and paint with that color using your paint tool. With the eraser tool, on the other hand, instead of grabbing a foreground color, because when you don't have transparency on an image, it'll paint with the background color. If I hold Control and select a color, you'll see that it'll actually select my background color. So I'll just hit Control Z to undo all that. So our next shortcut key is the Control F shortcut key, and this is just going to repeat the last filter or image adjustment we applied to our image or on any layer really within our composition. Remember, the last filter I used was the hue saturation filter on here to bring up the saturation and the lightness. And I could see that by going to filters, and right here it says repeat hue saturation. So if I come over to this image over here and I go to filters and then click repeat hue saturation, it'll just repeat those adjustments that we added to our last image. But I'll hit Control Z. If I hit Control F, it'll perform that same thing without having to click into this menu. So it's just a quick way to apply the exact same image adjustments or filters that you used on an image. So let me just demonstrate this with the filter as well, since we just did an image adjustment. So go to Light and Shadow, and we'll go to Vignette. And I'll just add a vignette on here real quick. So let me just increase the radius of this. And I softened it up a bit there, and I'll click OK. So now we have a vignette on our image layer here. If I come over here to our other image and I hit Control F, it'll apply that same exact vignette filter to this image. Our next set of shortcut keys is a really simple set of shortcuts, and what it does is it resets our foreground and background colors to black and white, and you do that simply by hitting the D key on your keyboard, and then you can switch between your foreground and background colors by hitting the X key on your keyboard. These shortcuts are really useful because black and white are probably the most common colors you'll be using when working in GIMP, whether that's because you are just painting those colors directly on your composition or using them in an effect or a filter, or also painting those colors on a layer mask because black is going to create transparency, white will create opacity. But regardless, black and white are very commonly used in GIMP, so let me come over here to GIMP. But right now I have my foreground and background colors set to different colors. So if I hit that D key on my keyboard, it's going to reset my colors to black and white. And then if I hit the X key on my keyboard, you can see I can now shift between those black and white colors. And if I come over here and right click and go to Add Layer Mask, and I'm going to set my layer mask to white full opacity and click Add. So now you'll see if I grab my paintbrush tool and I paint on this layer mask, black is going to create transparency. And then if I hit X and switch over to white, that'll create opacity here. So this is really useful when you are working on a layer mask or when you're just working with the black and white colors in general. And that brings us to our next essential shortcut key, which is Shift Q, and that is going to toggle our quick mask. So if I come over here to GIMP and hit Shift Q, you'll see that our quick mask is going to turn on here. And with my paintbrush tool selected and my colors set to black and white, let me hit X on my keyboard to shift over to white. Whenever I paint white on a quick mask, it is going to reveal the original image below. And anything that is revealed here on the quick mask, so basically anything that's not this red color, is going to turn into a selection area. And let's say I paint a little bit too much here outside, and let's say I'm trying to select just our model here in our photo, but I paint too much outside like that. If I hit X on my keyboard, it'll switch over to black, and now I can paint that black back on here. And if I hit Shift Q again, it'll toggle that quick mask off, and it'll turn the quick mask into a selection area. So now I could turn the selection area into a layer mask, or I could paint within the selection area, or do anything that I can normally do with the selection area. And of course, if I hit Control-Shift-A, that'll deselect my selection area. That was one of our earlier shortcut keys. So my last set of essential GIMP shortcut keys has to do with saving or exporting images out of GIMP. And so if I come over here and I hit Control-S, that is going to save my image if I've already saved this previously. If I have saved this image previously, but I want to save it under a new name, I can hit Control-Shift-S, and that will bring up my Save Image dialog box here, and that allows me to change my name. So let's name this Woman Leaning on Door. And I'll save this as a .xcf, which is the native file type in GIMP. So I'll just hit save, and now that has saved this as a .xcf image, and now every time I hit Control-S, it'll save that to the Woman Leaning on Door file that I created. On the other hand, if I want to export this as something other than a .xcf, I can hit Control-Shift-E, and that'll bring up my Export Image dialog box here, and you'll see this is saving this as a PNG right now. I can change this to JPEG by manually typing JPEG, or I can come down here to select file type by extension and choose any of the file types that GIMP supports. There's JPEG right there, and I'll hit export, turn the quality up, hit export again, and there we go. So that's it for the 10 essential shortcut keys found in GIMP, or really the 10 essential sets of shortcut keys found in GIMP. Did I miss any? Are there any that you use often in your compositions while you're working in GIMP? If so, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please subscribe to my YouTube channel at youtube.com/daviesmediadesign. You can also visit our website at daviesmediadesign.com. You can also enroll in our best-selling GIMP 2.10 photo editing course from beginner to pro photo retoucher on Udemy. And you can support our channel and help us grow by becoming a patron on Patreon. And I'll include a link to that as well as all the relevant links from this tutorial in the description of the video. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.